There are two versions of retiring in Florida. The first one everyone knows: high insurance, rising taxes, expensive coastal cities. Then there's the version almost nobody talks about: small towns where retirees pay less than $100 a month in property taxes, where home repair grants cover major expenses, where income-based programs quietly remove utility bills. It's not advertised, it's not marketed, and it only works in specific places. Because Florida didn't just eliminate state income tax, it built a layered system of exemptions and subsidies. That, when combined correctly, can make retirement shockingly affordable. Today we're breaking down 15 towns where that system actually works. Before rising migration changes the math, the retirement math is breaking. Social Security averages around $1,900 per month. But housing costs across the US have surged more than 40% since 2020. Property taxes are rising. Insurance premiums are exploding. Utilities are climbing. For retirees on fixed income, that creates a slow financial squeeze. So migration is shifting. Instead of moving to major Florida metros, retirees are targeting overlooked inland towns. Not because they're cheaper, but because that's where the tax advantages stack. The difference isn't hundreds per month, it's thousands per year. And the first town quietly attracting attention sits south of Orlando. Number 15. Sebring, Florida. Sebring doesn't look like a financial loophole. It's quiet. Lakeside, about 90 miles south of Orlando. Median home prices hover near $200,000, but the real advantage is hidden in property tax exemptions. Florida offers a $50,000 homestead exemption. Low-income seniors over 65 can receive another $50,000. That's $100,000 removed from your taxable value. Buy a $200,000 house. You're taxed as if it's worth $100,000. In Sebring's tax structure, that can mean under $800 per year, less than many Americans pay for 1 month of rent. Healthcare access is surprisingly dense, and utility assistance programs become easier to qualify for at those income levels, which turns housing costs nearly invisible. Number 14. Palatka. Palatka sits along the St. Johns River. Rural, quiet, overlooked. But that rural classification unlocks something critical. USDA Section 504 home repair grants. If you're over 62 and low income, the federal government can provide up to $10,000. Not a loan, a grant. That means major repairs, roof, electrical, plumbing, don't destroy retirement savings. Combined with tax exemptions, Palatka becomes less about cheap housing and more about removing future financial risk. Number 13. Inverness. Inverness is built around lakes and retirees. Nearly 40% of residents are over 65. That changes everything. Healthcare clusters locally. Senior services expand. Transportation becomes accessible. But the financial mechanism is what matters. Citrus County allows stacked tax exemptions and a homestead tax deferral if taxes exceed a percentage of income. That means you're never forced to sell because taxes spike. It's quiet financial protection built into the system. Number 12. Brooksville. Brooksville sits just north of Tampa, close enough for major hospitals, far enough to avoid metro pricing. Median home prices stay near $240,000. Tax rates are lower than many Florida towns, and because it's rural adjacent, grant eligibility still applies. This is geographic arbitrage, metro healthcare access, small town cost structure. Number 11. Ocala. Ocala is Florida's horse country. Large retiree population, strong healthcare network, central location between major cities, median homes around $250,000. Stacked exemptions apply, but what makes Ocala different is infrastructure. You get affordability without isolation. That balance is becoming rare in Florida. Number 10. Live Oak. Live Oak is slower, smaller, stable. Home prices barely move year to year. That stability matters, because retirees don't just need cheap housing. They need predictable costs. Flat housing growth means taxes stay manageable. No sudden jumps, no forced relocation, just financial calm. Number 9. Hudson. Hudson sits near the Gulf Coast, but not directly on it. That subtle difference lowers insurance costs dramatically. Homes average around $275,000. Coastal lifestyle, without beachfront premiums. Boating, fishing, waterfront access, but working-class pricing. That's becoming increasingly rare. Number 8. Pensacola. Pensacola offers something unique. Local redevelopment grants. Up to $10,000 matching funds for home improvements. Stack that with federal grants, and older homes become financially viable long-term. That eliminates the hidden retirement risk. Major repairs. Number 7. Dade City. Dade City looks like a historic small town, but recent price declines make it interesting. Values dropped slightly, while Florida overall climbed. That creates opportunity. Lower entry cost, tax exemptions apply, and Tampa healthcare remains accessible. Number 6. Lynn Haven. Lynn Haven sits near Panama City, but outside tourist pricing. Small town, quiet. Healthcare infrastructure improved after hurricane rebuilding. Newer facilities, without metro cost. This is post-disaster investment benefiting retirees. Number 5. Bartow. Bartow sits between Tampa and Orlando. Central, functional, overlooked. But Polk County offers extensive senior services, meal programs, home assistance, case management. These reduce non-housing costs significantly. Number 4. Titusville. Titusville sits on Florida's Space Coast. NASA infrastructure created long-term investment, better roads, utilities, public services, but prices remain below major coastal cities. That's federal investment, without metro pricing. Number 3. Mount Dora. Mount Dora is more desirable. Walkable downtown, art scene, tourism revenue. Prices slightly higher, but still manageable. Walkability reduces car dependence, lower insurance, less fuel, lower maintenance. Hidden savings add up. Number 2. Dunedin. Dunedin sits near Tampa's medical corridor. Healthcare access becomes the value for retirees managing chronic conditions. Proximity reduces travel costs, lodging stress, higher purchase price, but lower lifetime expenses. Number 1. Gulfport. Gulfport is the most strategic, near St. Petersburg, waterfront access, arts community, but the real advantage is tax portability. Florida homeowners can transfer up to $500,000 in assessment difference. That means a higher-priced home. With almost no property tax, this is financial engineering, not cheap housing. But this window may not last. Insurance costs are rising statewide. Population growth is accelerating. Remote workers are moving inland. The towns that once looked too remote are becoming the next affordability targets. As demand increases, exemptions remain, but purchase prices climb, and once prices rise, the advantage shrinks. Most retirement guides focus on cheap places, but cheap isn't the same as sustainable. The real difference comes from understanding the system. Tax exemptions, grant programs, portability rules, income thresholds. These mechanisms don't change often, but awareness does. And as more retirees discover them, these towns stop being hidden. They become the next migration wave. Quietly, gradually, then all at once. And by the time headlines catch up, the nearly free retirement towns are no longer cheap. They're just Florida.